Bob McCown podcast, yours truly, along with John Shannon. What is with the smiling in the middle of my introduction there?
Oh, I'm just your smiling face, Bob. It's so good on a Monday morning to see, and I think you're in a good mood.
I'm not smiling at all, and you know that.
But
I
I'm
rarely
smiling.
smile, and I'm not going to smile on a Monday morning. I can tell you that right now. Before we begin, a message from
management,
the Department of Redundancy Department. If you like the show, subscribe to your preferred podcast platform. Now, do you understand what that means, Shannon?
Yeah, you go to Apple Podcasts or Spotify or whatever podcast platform you use, and you find the podcast. You type in McCowan Podcast, and then you hit subscribe button.
Well, so see, this is the thing that.
Because then it shows up on your phone or your computer every day without you having to go find it.
Oh, I see. But it should be, I think it's important to point out, because to me, if you subscribe to something, it infers you're going to have to pay something. And of course, we don't charge anything for this, do we?
No. It's just like the old days.
Here's to us. For doing something for nothing.
Yeah.
Not just something that's worth nothing. We're actually doing it for nothing.
And if you don't want to subscribe, I'm sure by now you're not even listening.
Pardon?
Yeah, exactly.
So I assume you spent last evening. Now we should mention, if you are watching this rather than listening to it, well, even if you're listening to it, John is not in Toronto any longer. He has moved to Edmonton.
No, hold on.
Pardon?
I haven't moved to Edmonton.
Where are you now?
I'm in Edmonton.
That's what I said. You've moved to Edmonton.
But I'm not moving to Edmonton. We don't want social media aflutter. Shannon is moving to Edmonton.
How did you get, if you didn't move, how did you get there?
I flew carrier pigeon.
Well, you moved.
Yeah,
you moved from Toronto?
Moved is a word that connotes something other than he traveled to.
I'm not connoting anything, John. I said you were in Toronto and you moved to Edmonton. Is this or is this not accurate? Yes, it's accurate.
Okay.
I didn't say you were staying in Edmonton.
No, I am actually.
Although I'd be happier that if you stayed in Edmonton, but that's
right. But
what
difference does it make? You don't see me anyway.
Well, I see you on this thing.
Yeah, but I can be in Timbuktu for that.
Would you mind?
Well, Timbuktu is a little warmer than Edmonton right now.
Is it? Well, everything is warmer than Edmonton right now. Minus 31.
Oh, minus 31 today.
Chilly. A little cool breeze from the north. So we did you watch the Super? Well, you must have, because you're there now. You didn't fly overnight, so I assume you were in Edmonton watching the Super Bowl with all your friends in your hotel room.
I watched it with my friends again. Yeah, I got here in time to watch the game. That was the key yesterday, was to travel in time to be in one spot to watch the game. Yes.
Well, it's worth pointing out that we did a Super Bowl preview show, if you will, on when the hell did we do it? On the weekend?
We did it Friday. We released it Saturday.
Yeah. And the two dum-dums that we had on both predicted Kansas City. And
they said they were the better football team.
And the relevance of that is lost on me. But anyway, it just seems to me we shouldn't have these two guys on again, because they clearly don't know anything.
Well, maybe for hockey.
Well, why did we have them on for football then?
Because we thought they were football guys.
No, we didn't think anything. You and the idiot producer of this thing we do here thought these guys would be good to have on. Because
who would you have had on? Pete Rozelle?
I probably wouldn't have had anybody on. I would have been just as happy to do it on our own, do a 1-minute podcast and say, who do you like?
I don't think so. By the way,
Yes.
and somebody on social media reminded me of this on the weekend. Did you make chili?
Mm-hmm. What do you want? Yes.
I want chili.
It's all gone.
What? No, you see, you got to.
I made a big ass batch of it, and I know we weren't supposed to do this, but the only place I go is to my neighbors who go nowhere and see no one. So got together with them, and it's gone.
And you didn't save me any.
It wasn't, I made it, I took it, I didn't bring the rest home. So the answer is no, there isn't. But I promise if I ever see you again in person, I will make some for you, okay? Little boy? Will that make you happy?
Thank you very much. Actually, little boy is a good thing to start the Super Bowl discussion about, because it was a difference between a 43-year-old and a 25-year-old yesterday. Oof.
Well, there's a whole slew of issues here. Let me go back to where we were. You predicted 37-27 Tampa Bay.
I did, yeah.
And of course, the score is not really relevant. You predicted Tampa Bay would win, as did I. And my prediction, I believe, was 21-17.
Yeah, and you said Tampa would slow it down, and they really didn't.
Oh yeah, they did. Oh yeah, well, I also said that their 4-man defensive line was going to give Kansas City problems, and Kansas City, playing with 4 of their 5 offensive linemen, were not regulars at the beginning of the year. And I thought they would contain Mahomes, which they did. He was pressured on more than 50% of the passes that he tried. I felt like, okay, a score is a score, but I felt like I correctly analyzed the game, which doesn't happen very often. But I thought this one I had pretty much in hand, which brings up this question. I cannot come up with, this MVP vote thing. Of course, Tom Brady won the MVP vote, and I'm not here to say he shouldn't have, because I don't know who would have been next. Like, who would have been the second choice? As the fourth quarter was winding down and the game was out of hand, and I started thinking, okay, is it going to be Brady again who's going to win the MVP? Gronk caught 2 touchdown passes, but other than that, didn't do a whole lot.
That was enough.
Well, I mean, theoretically, you could have given it to him for that, I suppose. But really, in my mind, it raised the issue of the importance and the value of the MVP, which I don't know what the stats are. Maybe you do. More often than not, it's a quarterback. It's the winning quarterback, right or wrong?
Sure. Yeah, no, you're right.
And that's the nature of the beast. Nobody else did anything incredibly dramatic, at least more than once or twice.
No individual did anything dramatic.
But look, we all know why the game was won by Tampa. It was won because of their defense. Correct.
Defense, yeah.
Now, you could take the 4 guys on the defensive line who rushed the passer. I don't think did they blitz once? I don't remember them blitzing once.
Well, if they did, it was less than one hand worth.
Yeah, I don't remember once.
Not very often.
Maybe they did, but not very often. And we knew that was going to happen. They dropped 7 back into pass coverage, and we knew that was going to happen. And they essentially covered the field, and blah blah blah.
Their linebackers and DBs did an amazing job, I thought. In addition to the pressure that
fantastic
guys like Sue and Pierre-Paul they were monsters yesterday.
Well, was there anybody on that defense that maybe deserved the MVP?
But the problem, Bob, is that MVPs. I mean, defense for all exciting things it can do. Defense is not glamorous. Defense isn't glamorous. It's
But you would
and so
concede. You would concede that if somebody had 2 interceptions, or an interception that to return it for a touchdown, or a big play that decided the game, they would be considered for the MVP.
well, and we've seen MVPs of Super Bowls in years past that have done that. Yes, we have seen that, but um, but yesterday was an 11-man MVP as far as I was concerned.
I agree.
They were
100%.
That's where. But then you got a sponsor that wants to give away a car, and you know, and in the end, it's the almighty sponsorship dollar that wins, and you got to give it to somebody. And why not give it to Tom? Because Tom's, you know, the greatest of all time, and we want our car associated with Tom anyway.
Well, yeah, it'll just go in the underground garage where he's got probably 50 other cars. He didn't win a Pinto, did he?
Actually, I'll be honest, I don't know what he won.
Well, he won a little trophy that'll go, you know, probably in the closet because there's probably no room left in the trophy case.
Yeah.
So, all in all, it was an interesting Super Bowl, but where would it rank on the entertainment scale? And the answer to that, I think, would be pretty low.
From a pure football perspective, yeah. Although the you know, the storyline that we've created about it is the one that, you know, could have easily been something that the broadcast could have harped on, and I think did a pretty good job of mentioning it. Although they were so madly in love with talking about Tom.
Which is fair.
And the simplicity of being able to talk about Tom makes your job easy.
Sure.
You know, actually, that brings up an interesting thought. We can go back to the game, but what did you think of Romo last night?
I thought he was really weak.
I thought he went over the top. You know, he was like, he's so good. When he's on as a game, he's so good.
I know, but I didn't think he was on last night.
Last night, I thought he was a bit of a caricature of himself.
Yep, I thought he was exactly what I was going to say. Exactly. I thought he was trying to be
He was trying to be too cute,
Mm-hmm.
trying to be too cute. And I mean, right now he's gold for CBS. He's their star. But now he's doing a shtick. I don't want a shtick. I want Tony Romo.
There were things. I mean, there's things in every game that you can analyze, and that's what he does best. Now he does it. I mean, generally speaking, I agree with you. He does it very well.
Oh yeah. When he's on, he's spectacular.
And he does it with a sense of humor sometimes. But I agree. I think he stopped analyzing and started trying to entertain.
Yeah.
And I don't think I think that's a dangerous place to go when you're a former football player. Maybe there was there nothing to talk about last night?
Well, but that leads me to my next thing, and he did mention this a few times. How badly hurt do you think Mahomes is? How badly hurt?
I'd only be guessing, John. I mean, there's no point in that.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Because even, you know, he's famous for his off-balance throws, but even, you know, you just wondered all night long whether that toe issue, could he really plant and follow through with the velocity that he always did? Because his accuracy last night, he threw 49 times. 49 times yesterday, 26, I think, completions.
Well, let me ask you a question. How did he look against Buffalo?
Well, I liked him against Buffalo. He was good against Buffalo.
So you think he's more hurt 2 weeks later? I'm going to guess.
I don't know.
He's better. He was
I
better
would think
than
not.
Well, so I don't think you can. I mean, it's an interesting question, and I don't have the answer to it. So, you know, but I would expect that a player with any kind of an injury who is able to play is going to be in better condition 2 weeks after the injury than he was 2 weeks before. And so therefore, after watching him dismantle Buffalo's defense, there was no reason to believe that he couldn't perform similarly against Tampa. So to suggest that the injury was an issue, I don't know, John, but it doesn't make much sense to me.
Yeah, because that's the one thing that I thought Romo mentioned quite a bit last night was, oh, he's limping again. Oh, he's limping again. So
He could have reheard it at some point that I didn't
yeah,
notice.
yeah. But to me, his great freelancing, his ability to scramble just wasn't there to the point that it has been in previous games, previous seasons. And they've been so reliant on it, and particularly with their offensive line in shambles, that really, that to me, that was his inability to move out of the pocket really was one of the key differences for me throughout the game.
Look, Tampa played really well, both offensively and defensively, but
Yeah.
especially on defense. I mean, Kansas City, like, what are the odds Kansas City does not score a touchdown with that offense? Not one. And that's what happened.
That would have been a good prop bet, huh?
Well, I'm guessing somebody had a prop bet of how many touchdowns Kansas City scores, and I would say it would be probably over under 4, maybe 5, somewhere in that neighborhood. Don't you think? Like 4.5, over under 4.5. Excuse me. Well, it was 0. Yeah. So I was going to go someplace else, and I can't recall exactly where I was going to go. Well, it was I accept Brady got the MVP. It demonstrated to me the real frivolity of an MVP vote in any game or in any series or in a playoff or whatever. Mm-hmm. It really comes down to statistics. Defensive players, a defensive player could have played 5 times the game of an offensive player and almost invariably is not going to be recognized for it. And unless they do something dramatic. In other words, defensive player could play horse poop, but get 2 interceptions and wind up with the MVP. It's just the nature of the beast. Yeah. And I think it's a colossally, we're spending a lot of time talking about it, but I think it's colossally overrated.
Yeah. So, to me, the other 2 guys that they talked a lot about Todd Bowles, but they didn't talk very much about Byron Leftwich last night. Who do you think gets a quicker chance to be a head coach in the NFL? Bowles, who has been one, or Leftwich, who's an up and coming and was a damn good quarterback in his own right, a really good athlete, but seems to have morphed into a pretty good offensive coordinator.
Well, I think Bowles has the history against him from my perspective, but do you value experience as a head coach? Even though Bowles, you can't argue he was successful.
No, he wasn't.
So I don't know. I don't know. I never understand the decision-making process. You know yourself that general managers tend not to want to take chances, because when you take a chance, you put your own head on the block or neck on the block. You want to be able to say, if it doesn't work out, well, look at the guy's resume, look what he did. Yeah. At the same time, in all sports, we go through this recycling process. It's easier to hire a guy who's got some experience, and the reasons for that have escaped me forever. But teams do it over and over again. NHL does it, MLB does it, everybody does it.
I call that the Bobby Winkles rule.
Why?
Because every year I'd see Bobby Winkles being on third base with another team.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's truth in that. But there's, you know what? There are dozens of guys like Bobby Winkles.
Sure.
Dozens. Guys who get 2, 3, 4 different chances to be head coaches. I mean, you've got to be a colossal failure to not get a second chance as a head coach. And I've never really understood that. And I mean, what I do understand is there is risk in hiring a guy who's never done it before. And General managers don't want to take that risk.
Yeah.
So you tell me, does Bowles get it first? Does he go back and get a job?
Well, based on the success we saw yesterday, I think the answer will be yes, because we've talked about how the defense really won the game, and Leftwich, who did a remarkable job in bonding with Brady, won't get near the credit because Brady will get all the credit. So I think, and I think both of them will get chances, and I think that's when you think about two African Americans doing the jobs that they did, and diversity being at a premium right now in all sports, I think both will get an opportunity. But I think people will play the conservative card, saying Bowles has been through it, has learned his lessons. We love his defense. Hire someone to be the quarterback coach and run the offense, and he'll be the head coach again.
Well, look, I'm not here to argue the theories of this, but there's an old quote, and I can't remember who it came from, and it goes like this: I coached good, but boy, did we play bad.
We could credit that to a ton of guys, I think.
Yeah, it was a baseball guy, I think, but it may not have been. And
that's almost as good as Harry Neal's. That's almost as good as Harry Neal's line.
Which one was Harry's?
Just after they finish O'Canada, he says, "Every time I hear that song, we lose."
That's good. That's Harry. The point being this: you can be the best jockey in the world. If the horse don't want to run, you're not winning the race. And we far too often, I believe, give too much credit to coaches and analyze coaches based on the performance of the teams that they coached, and suggest that, well, they must be great coaches because look what happened. Well, yeah, but the players do it. I know there's a system. Are you going to tell me that with all the stuff in professional sports today, there are a whole bunch of secrets still that only a few guys know? I don't think so.
But okay, so how do you explain
then
your favorite team?
Yeah.
The Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
Since they moved to the AFC, okay,
yeah.
20 head coaches.
Yeah.
In that same period of time, the Pittsburgh Steelers, 3.
Yeah. How do I explain it? It's easy. Well, 2 things. Number 1, Cleveland ownership has been colossally stupid. Number 2, Cleveland couldn't beat anybody till this past couple of years, and Pittsburgh has had a good football team virtually that entire time.
But if you say coaching is so, I mean, you're not giving coaching much credit. But then, I mean,
I don't.
Yeah,
I don't. I think
the same way you do with relievers. You're doing the same thing now with head coaches that you do with relievers.
But I mean, haven't you been converted? I mean, now that I've advised you on how to look at relief pitching, and you've actually been able to say, "Well, Christ, McCown is on to something." I thought relief pitching really was important, and if there's a good one out there, you got to go get him. No, you don't. It's like pretty girls. There's another one coming by every 5 minutes. Just find some guy, put him out there, give him $5, and if he blows up, you get out next. And eventually, you'll find a guy who can pitch 1 inning to somebody. That's my theory on relief pitching. Yeah. I wouldn't have a single relief pitcher that makes more than minimum wage.
Well, that sounds like your theory of Cleveland Brown coaching too. So, although Kevin Stefanski did win the Coach of the Year Saturday, so he obviously did something right.
He took a team that's been horse poop for 2 decades and took them to, where did they get to? AFC semifinal or whatever it was. Yeah. Okay, as a Cleveland Browns fan, I'm thrilled. And I'm optimistic about the future, probably unwisely, but nonetheless. Does that make you the coach of the year? Well, what about Arians? Now, again, this is the other part of the equation. Coach of the year, a lot of awards are done based on the regular season.
Right.
Correct or incorrect?
Oh, correct. Yeah.
Two theories on that. Number one, why would the games in the regular season are of negligible significance? What do I care who the best was in the regular season? You should include all the games. The dilemma with that is invariably every award would go to the team that wins the championship.
Two teams, yeah.
Or two, yeah. But most of them are going to go on the side that won.
Awards in every sport have been done in regular seasons because that's the level playing field. Everybody's measured against everybody for the level playing field, rightly or wrongly. And it's a way to try to acknowledge some success, even if you don't get to a championship. If you have been the player that has helped a team improve the most over a season, or the coach that's done it, or a position player, then there's a chance that there's a good way to acknowledge that.
Yeah, too many times the best player wins, and I've argued all along that there ought to be two awards, an MVP and a best player.
Well, there is an MVP. Tom Brady won it yesterday.
Yeah, well, I know, but who's the best player?
Oh, we've already been through this. Who's
well,
on first?
No.
I can't. We couldn't take the trophy and weld it and cut it up into three.
In hockey, don't you think it would be fair? Like, who's the best player in the NHL right now? Who's the best player? Okay. I don't know whether I agree, but you're entitled to that opinion. Then give Connor McDavid the best player award until he isn't the best player anymore.
That in fact actually happens in the NHL because of the difference between the Hart Trophy, which is the MVP, and the Ted Lindsay Award, which is voted on by the players for who is the best player in the game. So there actually is two trophies. One,
so two different people, different people voting.
Yeah,
I'm still saying,
but it still solves a bit of the issue.
Not really.
Oh,
not really.
I was trying to be nice.
Well, I don't know how we got on this tangent. I'm happy that they award an MVP in all these sports. And the significance of that at the end of the day is somebody rubbed my feet because they're probably cold. I don't care. It's not significant. I don't care who somebody thinks is the MVP. I'm more interested in the conversation, who's the best player? And you could make an argument that for many years, Sidney Crosby probably would have been named the best player, but he didn't win the MVP every year. No. Because MVP suddenly creates this conversation about importance and team achievement. So now team achievement comes into an equation where I'm trying to say who's the most valuable player. Well, can you tell me that the Edmonton Oilers in past seasons would have won the same number of games without Connor McDavid as they would with him? Or would they have won 0 games? Would they have gone 0-82 instead of whatever, 20-62?
I see your point.
You know?
But I tell you what, as a guy who did vote, as a guy who used to vote for those awards,
because they asked you to.
Yeah. But I put a caveat on my awards. If you didn't make the playoffs, you couldn't win certain trophies. You had to have some team success in order to get.
Why?
Because I think because it's a team sport, Bob. It's a team sport first.
Wait a sec. It's a team sport, but you agreed to decide on individual awards.
Sure. You can have both.
I mean, sure. You can't have your cake and eat it too, Shannon.
Why not?
You should have stood up and said,
I couldn't have my chili and eat it too, but that's different.
Well, you're in Edmonton.
I know.
Surely somebody in Edmonton makes chili.
Don't call me Shirley.
Surely you can't be serious. I am serious. And now I forget where I was again.
Hey, did you watch halftime? What did you think of halftime? Oh no, Bob, come on, he was great.
Toronto boy, congratulations, bravo.
Good Scarborough kid. Yeah,
Look,
it was entertaining.
If he's not on 80s on 8, so I don't know. I have no
Oh,
idea
stop
any
it!
of his songs.
Come on.
I honestly I don't. I recognized one song. One.
Oh, he's an entertainer. This guy was good.
I liked him better when he had the goofy hair. Remember the hair that went?
I don't talk about hair.
You don't remember that?
Yes, I do. That's when he first really became a star, right? I think.
Yeah, and I always figured it was mostly because of the hair. Like, I mean, at least I thought it was brilliant. Like, I mean, at least you paid attention to it.
Guy.
He's good. He's pretty good.
He was good last night. I'll tell you what.
He kind of did the Michael Jackson thing. He had the red jacket on, although it wasn't leather, and he had 2 gloves on instead of 1.
So it had nothing like Michael Jackson.
Well, no, because you're right. He was nothing like Michael Jackson because he can't dance worth crap.
Oh, he was pretty good dancer.
Oh, he did not.
I saw a couple of moves.
Now, you know what I really liked? I want one of those full face masks that the dancers were wearing. Yeah. I thought those were cooler than hell.
Speaking of masks, did you see Stephen King's tweet late last night? Stephen King, the author,
the writer, the mystery horror writer.
Yeah.
No, I didn't. What did he say?
So, Tampa Bay, City of Champions, congratulations. Now put your goddamn masks on. It was pretty good.
Yeah, that is pretty interesting, isn't it? After all those years of having sad sack teams, and I mean really bad teams. Tampa Bay Lightning were really bad for a long time, and the Buccaneers were horrific for a long time.
And so was the baseball team.
Yes, they were. And would have been something if they'd won the World Series, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Well, now that they've got an NBA team, it may make the playoffs.
Yeah, they're the Toronto Raptors, but nonetheless. Well, they may have another baseball team too. That because the Blue Jays are moving to Dunedin, which might as well be. It's the Bay Area.
We're going to change topics.
Yeah, we're gonna change topics for a brief moment or two.
We'll do a quick hockey.
We'll take a break first and come back in a minute. It's the Bob McCown podcast. And we're back. John Shannon, Bob McCown. Shannon is in Edmonton. I am in my my usual secluded abode.
Your desk looks lovely and clean today.
Well,
there
was one thing. I don't know where I put it. Well, it's still in the corner of the desk. I just moved it from here to there. That's all I did.
Okay. Looks clean, Bob. Good.
I don't give a flying fadoo whether people think I'm, it's my office. My office is messy. I concede that. It always has been. It always will be. But I know where everything is. When somebody comes into my office and straightens it up, I'm screwed.
You don't. Yeah, I know. I'm the same way.
I got it now. Oh crap! I got to go through everything just to find where everything is, and that's a chore. That's time consuming. And then I got to.
I'm the same way with our freezer.
Excuse me.
I know where everything is in the freezer.
Freezers are. Do you have one of those that opens from the top, or do you? Or
no,
you have
I stand
a freezer beside the fridge?
We have a stand-up freezer. Yeah, but it's not right in the kitchen. So.
Oh. Well, so I have the freezer that comes with the fridge, right?
Yes. Yeah, we have that too.
And I actually have 2 fridges, and one of them, the freezer's on the side, and the other one, the freezer's on the top.
Ooh.
Those are fine. I don't see why you should have any problem finding anything in there. But in the basement, I have a freezer. It's one of those low freezers where the top lifts up.
Yeah,
and you look
Good
down into
it's
it.
good for the dead body. It's good for the dead bodies, right, Bob?
Correct. There might be a couple in there, but this is the freezer I have a problem with, because invariably there's stuff underneath other stuff, and it could be there for decades. Literally.
Not a good time. Not good, Bob. Not good.
So they also put labels on things. Expiry dates. I'm not very good with expiry dates, but my daughter every once in a while will go through the cupboard and go, oh, that's no, that. So you go into the freezer, and there are a couple of steaks, and the expiry date says January 17th, 2015. Is that still good?
No
frozen.
way. No way.
It's frozen.
There's still bacteria. There's still, oh, Bob, throw it out. Throw it out.
Well, what? Okay. So I'm okay when I buy the hot dogs or the ground beef for the chili. There's an expiry date.
Don't even bring it up. Don't even bring it up right now.
Okay, but mad. So now I go into the freezer. How long do things last in the freezer? What's the expiry date once I put it in the freezer? Because they don't tell you that.
In my opinion, it's less than a year, but I would actually push it to 6 months.
Based on what evidence?
My wife telling me that. Well, Bob, somebody has to make a decision.
Money, she spends the money. It is of no consequence to her if you bought 2 filet.
If I walked into the kitchen,
$40, and they've been in the freezer for 6 months, and she goes, we're throwing them out.
No. If I walked up to the kitchen with 2 steaks from January 17th to 2015, they ain't getting barbecued.
Well,
they're not.
Not if she pulls them out. Well, you got.
She doesn't go to the basement.
She doesn't go to the basement. There. And
well, how did you get on this topic?
Unwrap the whole package, so there's no. She can't see the expiry.
There's no evidence. Boy, that's like a Columbo episode. Bury the evidence.
Yeah. Well, Mickey will come in and go, "Wow, when did you buy these?" You just say last week.
Oh yeah.
I just put them in the freezer right away.
Yeah. Yeah.
When in doubt, lie. Wayne Simmons is out for an indeterminate period of time. The original was like 6 to 8 weeks, but I saw this morning that there's concern that he might be. It might be a lot longer than that. Wow. I guess the question to me is, okay, he's a good player, nice player, interesting addition. This isn't exactly going to derail the Toronto Maple Leafs, is it?
Well, it shouldn't. I mean, when you think of the talent that this hockey club has, it shouldn't. He was playing well. There's no question that he was contributing.
I'll give you that. He was contributing.
He was actually, I know Thornton's hurt, but I actually, for the short time that they've both played, I was more impressed with what Simmons did than what Joe Thornton did in the short period of time before he broke ribs.
I'll give you that.
But he provided something that this team didn't have, and that was, there was some emotion, some energy, some physical play, and 5 goals. So, but I don't. This team is going to have to, if it's a championship team, has to adapt to these issues, because it's going to happen in a 56 game compact schedule, and they'll have to find somebody else to be a difference maker. That's life. That's life right now in the National Hockey League when it comes to what's going on with COVID, with what's going on with the fact that you're back at it every second day, and how managers manage and coaches coach and players play it. That's what's going to happen. So suck it up and deal with it.
That's all I have on that topic. It wasn't much of a topic, to tell you the honest to goodness truth. I just thought there was as there always is, an overreaction. Like, some fourth line guy who plays 30 seconds a night, gets hurt, and go, oh my God, what's this going to do? I don't know if you saw Bianca Andreescu made her comeback yesterday at the Australia.
Looked pretty good, eh?
Yeah, looked okay. I mean, first few games, a little rusty. Looked a little, missed some shots you don't expect her. She was playing against a girl who had no chance against her.
Right.
No chance. I think she wasn't even, I don't even think she was a qualifier. I think she was a lucky loser.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
And it turned out she was not lucky, but she was a loser. So they were half right. And who knows what she can do, what Bianca can do. I think we're past the point of trying to anticipate what this young lady is capable of, because she's capable of anything.
Yeah, well, the real question is the injury factor. Does she push herself so hard? Can she stay healthy? Can she stay healthy? Yeah. That's going to be the issue.
Yep.
And because we know that she has the ability, but staying healthy is a big factor, particularly in a sport that is, gosh, when you think about the travel, the wear and tear, if you get into a routine. That year that she won the U.S. Open, how many times did she play? Because you have to take advantage of advantage of being a marquee player for the certain period of time that you are.
Well, look, she looked okay. She looked pretty good.
Yeah.
The competition was not such that you can really make too much of a judgment, but she didn't mess it up. Raonic won easily too, which is a rarity. I mean, I've talked about this many times. Raonic could play some 5-year-old and win in straight sets, but it's going to be 6-4, 6-4, 6-4. It's just he could be Djokovic 6-4, 6-4, 6-4, and a 5-year-old 6-4, 6-4, 6-4. I don't get it, but well, I do get it. He's great on his serve. He's the best in the world, and when he's receiving serve, he's mediocre at best.
Hey, what do you think of the NBA trying to have an all-star game?
Why?
I know, but I was asking you. What do you think?
I gave you my answer. Why are they having?
I think LeBron's given them their answer too.
Oh, I know. LeBron said the thing is, LeBron said he'd go. He just said he doesn't want to go. Right. They're not going to cancel the all-star game. They've obviously gone through great preparations. What I do not understand is what exactly is the point.
Yeah.
The all-star game is two things. It's number one for corporate guys. Mm-hmm. And number two, it's to promote the game with all the things that surround it. Well,
this is not the year to be doing that.
It's not the year to be doing either.
Yeah.
You can't put that many people in the stands, and you can't have people going to events where they can try and hoist up.
Listen, the NBA All-Star Weekend, of all the things like that I've been to, is the greatest party I've ever been to in my life. It is spectacular, but it's a party. And last I checked, when you party, you have to be close to people.
I hear you. I'm with you. 100%.
Makes no sense to have an All-Star game.
But remember, LeBron did not say he wouldn't go. He just said why, essentially, which is exactly what I said.
Yeah.
Now, I'm about to come to the end of this august program here in February. And as per usual, I'm now in the habit of pausing while you add in the final question, message, comment, whatever, because this seems to be what you need to do. So please carry on.
No, I'm done.
If you like the show, shockingly, subscribe to your preferred podcast platform. Mm-hmm. John Shannon will be in Edmonton all week, perhaps all month.
Enjoy the veal.
Try the veal. Have you seen Nick yet? Oh no, you just got there last night. So
we can't social distance. We have to social distance.
Give him a kiss for me, will you, please?
Oh.
For John Shannon, Bob McCown, we'll see you on Wednesday if the creek don't rise. Goodbye.